What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Baseball Insiders. I am Adam Weiner. I'm doing a quick bonus show for you today with the winter meetings approaching. Robert Murray having a tough one, a packed day, but don't worry. We went to our Discord, our all-star channel in the Discord, asked for your questions for Robert. He answered them for me, so I'm going to share his answers now, get some insight on what to expect heading into next week. And I'll answer a few of your questions in the chat because I see some already that are coming in that I can answer and that I know Robert's answers as well. So I'll do my best to help you out here. But most importantly, where you can get Robert today and for the next week and for the next 3 months is in the Discord. So perhaps no better time to sign up and become a member. Become a member of the YouTube channel. Join the Baseball Insiders Discord. Robert's going to be here on almost every stream, but sometimes, like today, things pop up. He's an insider. I'm just a guy. So he was lucky enough to give me his insights today, but you'll get them as well if you join the Discord. And if you join at the All-Star level, which we just launched this week, you get early access to asking questions, priority in the chat, and a private call with us every month. So literally no better sales pitch than, hey, we couldn't track down Robert Murray today, but you know who could? The people in the Discord. They got him. They got his ear all the time. He can't get on air, but he's still in there answering your questions. And he answered some of them today for me on the show. So I'll start with those. Gave us great insight. Today's sponsor, of course, is Sleeper Daily Fantasy. The Baseball Insider's proud to partner with Sleeper Daily Fantasy to give new users a first deposit match up to $100. Make sure to use your code FANSIDED2. That's FANSIDED and the number 2 when signing up to receive your deposit match. Please remember to always game responsibly. Scan the QR code on the screen to see if you qualify. We will have Robert next week, of course, at the winter meetings for a big show. Although turn on your channel notifications to make sure that you're able to get a live noti when we're going on air. Because frankly, I don't even know when that's going to be because the winter meetings are crazy. Robert could be in the lobby sharing a wine with Jeff Passan. Robert could be up at 6 a.m. ready to do a podcast. We're trying to figure out when we can get him. We will have him, of course. We promise you that, but we've got to figure out when. But when Robert's not available, we're going to have some other great guests going live on the channel. Local beat writers already in touch with a few. We're going to try to really blow it up this winter meeting. So make sure to turn your channel notifications on. We'll get you content whenever we can. So today's questions come from our all-stars in the chat first. We're going to take you through 4 questions that they answered. I'll take you through some of the questions in the comments. Obviously, Burner asking, why do MLB nerds have so many followers? I can't answer that one. They blocked me. So good question, but couldn't tell you. We got some questions in the all-star section of the Discord chat. Again, that's priority questions. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 there. I thought they were great questions, and Robert had great answers. Question number 1 was about the Chicago White Sox. The question we got specifically was from Canyon Swartz, a longtime member of the Discord and a recent All-Star. Do you think the White Sox are just going to blow up and sell everyone? So I asked Robert for the state of the White Sox if he thinks they're still trending towards blow it up mode, which honestly, blow it up kind of feels like, going even beyond the names that we know, going all the way to Luis Robert, going all the way to Eloy Jimenez. But this is specifically pertinent because we have people in the comments right now asking how close is the Dylan Cease trade. From what I've heard from Robert and from other insiders, a little bit overblown that, you have to check your watch today and see if Cease is going to the Braves or going elsewhere. Here's Robert's response on whether the White Sox are going to blow it up. I don't think blow it up is accurate, but I think we see them trade Cease eventually. So I don't know how much they get for Jimenez because of his injury history and the other questions surrounding him. Luis Robert trade feels unlikely. With Cease, they'll get a haul for him. Star pitcher, 2 years under control. I think Baltimore makes a lot of sense here. And this comes right from Robert. But reports of an imminent trade there were exaggerated. That's not close, and I don't expect it to happen before the winter meetings. So take it from Robert. I don't either. But Dylan Cease nearing, of course, probably going to be traded this offseason. The White Sox would be smart to extract the best package they can, but reports of him being on the verge of a deal to the Braves feel a little overblown. Glass now, to me, now this is me talking, not Robert Murray. He's not using me as a ventriloquist dummy. I feel like he's closer to going the Bruce Levine tweet with all the specifics today the Cubs numbers, the payroll they'd have to shed, etc. It feels like the Cubs and Glass now are moving closer to a marriage, or at least closer than Dylan Cease and any of the teams that are chasing him. So look forward to Cease at the winter meetings, but not today. Question 2 came from another all-star in the Discord. Damian asked, who or what would be an under-the-radar move that hasn't really been talked about yet that Robert could see happening during the winter meetings? And this was also asked later in the chat. Robert's been hinting in that Discord about pitchers, about potential pitchers being on the verge of maybe inking contracts. And this was his answer to that question. Under the radar moves that people aren't talking about that could occur at the winter meetings. I think it's the mid-tier starting pitcher market. Keep an eye on Sean Manaea, Frankie Montas, players like that. They're the ones to watch. And I would agree. There was a lot of smoke around Montas to the Yankees earlier in the offseason, sort of thinking like, hey, it's a fait accompli. Maybe they didn't extract the most value they could have out of him. I mean, they got no value out of him after trading for him at the 2022 deadline. And what do the Yankees do when they don't get the value they're looking for? They go out and re-sign that person. That's what they tried to do with Andrew Benintendi before the White Sox outbid them. I thought Montas would be a good Yankee, especially a more likely Yankee than Luis Severino, who we saw go to the Mets yesterday. And good luck to Steve Cohen, who opted to pay $13 million plus incentives for 1 year of Luis Severino, who was the self-described worst pitcher in baseball last year. That's what you do when you got money, I guess. But Manaea, Montas, and those, pitchers of that ilk are going to start to go off the board quickly when the winter meetings get down. So that's the under the radar stuff to expect while everyone else is distracted by Juan Soto and Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani, most importantly. We don't really know anything about Ohtani yet. Rumors this week that people were out. I think we're going to have to take that with a significant grain of salt. Take the biggest grain of salt you have, start chipping smaller grains off it because we don't know anything about Shohei Ohtani's extremely secretive market. Yamamoto going to be after the winter meetings too, from what we know, and I've confirmed this with Robert. He's going to get finalists together. He's going to do meetings, presumably on Zoom, potentially right after, and make that decision after the winter meetings, which will be tough for those looking to set their budgets because everyone's in on Yamamoto, but that one's probably not going to get done at the winter meetings. Soto, the Yankees have everything that the Padres need for Juan Soto. So do the Cubs and Mariners. Jeff Passan basically said this last week, said, if they want upper-level pitching, those three teams have it, but the Cubs and Mariners won't be as willing to give it up as the Yankees. People are just screaming about it. People are screaming about the Yankees and Soto. $30+ million commitment in his final year of ARB. If the Padres come to reality and realize that Jason Dominguez is not going to be a part of this deal, then a deal could easily get done at the winter meetings, but probably not sooner. Another good point raised in our Discord, though. People poop all over the Mookie Betts trade, but Alex Verdugo was a roughly equivalent prospect to Jason Dominguez at the time, though he did have a longer tail of big league tenure and some somewhat struggles at the big league level, plus some off-the-field concerns at that point. So his value is a little bit diminished. To be the headliner of a package, Dominguez would be a bigger deal headliner of the package, even with the Tommy John surgery. Most agree he'll probably make a full recovery from that. So I don't blame the Padres for asking for Jason Dominguez, but I don't think it's very likely that that's going to ultimately happen, especially because he doesn't really align with the Padres' needs. Are they a win-now team? They kind of have to be with Machado and Bogarts and then Tatis out there, but he's not a win-now player. He won't be active until late July, early August, and he's only got a week of Major League games under his belt. So you'd be better off with some big league-ready starters. I'm not just saying that because I happen to root for the New York Yankees. It's just the Yankees. What the Yankees have in their farm aligns with what the Padres need. So I think both teams will probably come to that conclusion eventually. Number 3 question asked to Robert from the All-Star level from Rich, a new All-Star and a new member of the Discord. Shout out to Rich, Padres fan asking good questions. What does Josh Hader's market look like? I know you're asking that because your team's about to lose 700+ innings of pitching. As Robert said on Foul Territory last week, at least half of MLB teams have checked in on Seth Lugo. Nick Martinez went to the Reds already yesterday. Emilio Pagan went to the Reds too, which try to do one eyebrow up. I can't do that. But as Tim Robinson said, you sure about that? You sure about that's why? Cincinnati Reds? I don't know if I'd be guaranteeing that much money to Emiliano Pagan. But Josh Hader's market, according to Robert, is strong. Quote, I expect him to break Edwin Diaz's record. And that does not sound like the kind of contract the San Diego Padres are going to sign. There's a reason the comment section is chiming in on the Rangers being a favorite there. I haven't even heard another team speculated for Rader. We'll see, but the Rangers just feel like such a clear fit there and a team that could really use him. The Rangers somehow managed to get through an entire postseason and win the World Series with a smoke and mirrors bullpen last year. They don't have that luxury again, and they absolutely they're not going to enter. They're not going to enter next year's postseason any less motivated to win just because they did it already. No team is going to take their foot off the gas pedal. They're going to try to repeat. Second, Caldera mentioning the Phillies as a speculated target. That's a good one too. But it's going to eclipse that Edwin Diaz zone. It's a question of whether we want to see two closers like that in the NL East. I love that move for the Phillies, though, almost as much as I hated the Kimbrel move. The fourth question we asked Robert, and it's probably a biggie because it does have to do with Soto and company. Also a question from Rich. What are the non-Soto deals that the Padres are exploring right now? Could we see guys like Jake Cronenworth, Ha-Seong Kim, or Jackson Merrill even from the prospect pool move from their middle infield depth? I've seen Cronenworth attached to Soto in rumors. That will lessen the prospect pool they get for Soto, but that's also a possibility. Robert disagrees. He does not think that's a possibility. That's why we co-host this podcast. We usually agree, but often we don't, and he's plugged in, so he knows. Quote from Robert, I would be stunned if they move Merrill or Cronenworth. I could see teams being really interested in Kim. I know Boston was last year. Maybe it could lead to a big offer. Doubtful. Name to watch on the trade market, per Robert, is Trent Grisham. I would not be at all surprised that if they trade Soto, reinvest the money saved to turn it into 3 or 4 players to deepen their roster. We are clearly going closer to a consensus on the Soto trade, though, which Robert has fought for a while. I think a lot of people have fought it, but the reality is becoming too clear at this point that, man, if the Padres really do have this intention to get 3 major league ready starting pitchers this offseason, plus catching depth, plus bullpen depth to replace what they're losing, there's really no easier way to do that than trading him to the Yankees for Clark Schmidt or Michael King and Chase Hampton, potentially Drew Thorpe, potentially Randy Vasquez. Like, there's just so many upper-level pitching prospects. The Yankees gutted their upper-level pitching farm. Ken Waldichuk, J.P. Sears, Hayden Wesneski 2 deadlines ago in 2022, and they replenished it entirely in 2023. So, I don't know. The Yankees are really good at doing one thing and one thing only at this point in time, and it's developing top-tier starting pitching from 4th, 5th, 6th round picks on down. So we'll see. Jason Parker wants Red Sox crumbs. He's a smart man. I would love if the Red Sox got only crumbs, personally. But if you want crumbs and more, Jason, you're in the Discord. I know. Robert is in the Discord. Robert did a service to feed me info today because he's a great guy. Even if he can't make the show, he's giving me what I need to help keep the show running, give you guys at least a short update ahead of the winter meetings next week when so much is going to go down. Couple other things right up top. I talked on Cease Trade and how close it is. We got Justin's question answered. Cubs scoops. Look, Johnny, I just give you my personal opinion. I do feel like there's smoke and fire there on glass now. So I'll reiterate that. And that's just coming from me. That's not coming from Robert. But you start to learn to read the tea leaves, especially on the local beat guys. There are local beat guys you can trust who aren't going to mention a name unless something is happening behind the scenes. I use Jack Curry in New York with the Yankees and Andy Martino as examples. Jack Curry will often say something like, wonder if Andrew Benintendi could be fit for Yankees in outfield as they look to shore up lefty depth. And then 2 hours later, they trade for Andrew Benintendi. He's saying this because he knows. And Bruce Levine is kind of one of those guys in Chicago. They don't want to say Yankees nearing trade, but they'll say, could be an interesting fit for Yankees. And it could be an interesting fit because they're already talking about it behind the scenes. So I would say I got my eye on glass now. And Ethan Fisher, a vaunted subscriber or OG member of the Discord, wants to learn about what insight we can get in the Pirates hiring Sarah Gellis to join their front office. I can't give you insight specifically, but what I can tell you is that Eno Saris of The Athletic, who's someone who I trust almost explicitly, top tier level analyst, speculator, as well as somebody who had his own beer last year, his own IPA. So, Eno's trustworthy. He put out a list of sort of the rising stars. He wrote an article about, 12 potential future stars in management and coaching, baseball names on the rise. He put it out today. And then he literally updated it today and said, well, there goes number 1 on the list. Sarah is headed to the Pirates to be an assistant GM, started her career with an internship there before rising through the ranks in Baltimore and Houston. She was number 1 on Eno's list as a future star. So guess what? She's pretty close to the top of my uninformed list too. I use Eno as a source. And if he believes that, then so do I. Jason Parker, you're 100% right. Peter Gammons likes to sit on the keyboard, but then still know more than most. He ranks as one of those guys who has specific names attached to his mysterious tweets. So you're always like, what's he talking about? Emmett Sheehan for James Paxton. You know, what Dodgers Red Sox trade is he talking about? But if he's throwing names out randomly for like, hey, could be, hey, they talked about this, they probably did talk about that. Gammons is one of those guys for sure. Each fan base knows their guys. Hey, chime in the comments if you have your guys. I would love to know more of your local guys. I want the best possible list of followers I possibly can get. I want the most thorough picture, local insiders, national guys, etc. But that is today's show. There is so much more for you waiting in the Discord. We thank Robert Murray, as always, for helping me out. I hope he is watching. I think he might be. He tweeted this to get the word out. I appreciate it. Nobody does, but I'm getting personal Twitter followers right now. Shout out to you all. I hope you like what you see. I'm probably most going to tweet about North Carolina basketball, the New York Giants football, and Tommy DeVito. If you like Robert's team, the Philadelphia Eagles, you're not going to like my Twitter feed that much. Although I did marry into an Eagles family. My wife's mother, my mother-in-law, got me a shirt in Eagles Kelly Green last year that said married into this with an Eagles logo. And I wore it underneath my normal shirt to watch the NFC Championship game with her. And I'm not sure I've ever confessed that to anybody before. So not proud, but hopefully Robert's watching and he now knows. It's a good shirt. It's a size too small, but I still wear it. Join the Discord, become a member today. We got some folks in this chat today. Turbo joined, Andrew Lee joined, Brandon R joined, new members, even just through me. If you're becoming a new member through me, I appreciate it. I really appreciate all the love that you've all been showing to this podcast lately. Hopefully you come for Robert, stay for the show. That's our goal. Robert's got the info. I hope to keep the information flowing, keep it entertaining. Happy to bring you his scoops today. Of course, Robert is the man. Josh W., longtime member of the Discord, says it's a good deal and it's worth it. I completely agree. I love the space that we're creating. I love the space we create in the comment section on this show. We're planning to bring you big things. Scott F. says worth it too. Jeremy Witt, I can't help but note that we got a fellow Heels fan in the room. Somehow managed to hang 100 on Tennessee and get everybody biscuits, get everybody Bojangles at home. I got a new puppy a month and a half ago. His name is Biscuit. Last night was his first ever Heels game, watching the team get biscuits for the people in the arena. I held him up. I said, your first biscuit. That's how I spend my private life. That's what I do at home on my own time. But we're getting ready for the winter meetings. I'm trying to relax this week because next week's going to be crazy. I'm going to be on it. We're going to be on it all hours of the day. Robert's going to get boots on the ground. I'll be here holding it down. Hopefully we'll go live several times, be able to give everybody information. There'll be some Discord exclusives for sure. There'll be some All-Star Chat exclusives for sure. Pop by, join at any tier. We got the 99-cent tier for new members, $7.99 for the All-Star tier. We hope to, if you can't get in, you want to be in, comment on this video after it goes live, not in the chat, but make sure you comment on the video. Our producer, Joanne, who's helped me out today, who's helped us out so much, will be there getting everybody hooked up. So make sure to join if you haven't. Again, Sleeper Daily Fantasy today's sponsor, promo code FANSIDED2, the number 2, right on the screen. That's 2 for Joel Berry, North Carolina point guard, legend, national champion. Scan the QR code to make sure you qualify, get in on the offer. Great comment section again today. Again, I can't help but just be pumped up that so many people are out here supporting the show, even without Robert live on the show today. His influence was told. He's our guy. He's the centerpiece of the show. I'm just trying to hold it down. So shout out to everybody who joined us today. Please join us next week. We're going live. Plenty. New member again. Disapprove joined. Another member. I approve of you joining. Great group starting to be formed. Next week live. Plenty. Catch us at, hopefully, I mean, look, I honestly don't know. It's 3:30 Eastern most Mondays with Robert and I, but turn on your notifications, turn on that bell, and we will answer the bell next week. Make sure you are the first informed to know when we're going live and what exactly we got in store for you. until next week, winter meetings and after and January, February, beyond, we'll be here. We got some big things planned next year. So please join us. For Robert Murray, whose influence was all over today's show, his footprints all over this damn thing. I'm Adam Weiner. You can find me on Twitter if you want to, at Adam Weiner. Some people already did. Shout out to you. Hope you don't unfollow. And we'll see you again right here at Baseball Executives' biggest week. So tune in next week.